What is up, all of my horror fanatics out there? Welcome back. I'm the Jay Sloan, and I'm back here with my first video of 2019. It's January 13th, I believe, so right into the new year. I hope everyone is having a great start to the new year. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a Scream Factory / Arrow Video collection overview. It's been multiple years since I've done that, and I've accumulated quite a bit more titles since then. It was an old video I think I published back in 2013, so many years. The only difference is, used to, my Scream Factory and Arrow video collection was on this shelf toward the bottom there. But it isn't anymore. I have dedicated a whole shelf just to Scream Factory and Arrow. This is still a horror-only shelf. As you guys can see, not too much has changed. That's why I'm not going to do an overview of that. Just some differences down here at the bottom, but still horror-only shelf. And this is a new shelf that I got. I've had it for a couple months, and I've been, organizing a little bit, and decided that today was the day to film this video. I have the day off, so I said, what the hell, let's go ahead and, get it done and get it out there, and hopefully everybody enjoys it. Before I start, I want to give a shout out to a good buddy of mine, an old buddy of mine that, and by old, I mean friendship-wise and year-wise, we've known each other quite a long time, and that is Jake, formerly known as Jake Voorhees. He is now the Horror Fan 88. Great channel. If you haven't checked out Jake's channel, you need to go do that immediately. We were kind of bottom tier horror reviewers back in the day, when horror reviewing wasn't as popular as it has become in modern time. And I've known him since then. Always liked his content, always liked his conversation. And yeah, he gave me a shout out recently, and I wanted to return the favor because he's a great friend and a great YouTuber. So I guess having said that, without further ado, let's kind of dive in here. Up there, I want to show that off first. That is the Halloween poster that I had signed. My buddy Chris Brock had Nick Castle sign it, absolutely amazing. I wanted to be able to go to that horror convention, and it just fell through for me. But that's up there kind of on the mantle above all else. Up top here, we have the out-of-print, highly sought after, the Halloween The Complete Collection 15-disc set. Had this since it was released. I'm not going to go through all of these individually. But it's an amazing set. It's a pretty penny now, but that had to be up here on the mantelpiece as well. With Michael there in the middle, I guess you could say this is my Halloween shrine, if you will, up here at the top, because I'm such a huge Halloween fan. Have Michael up there at the top. Then have the Halloween 30th anniversary commemorative set. I've had that for a long time as well. It's not Scream Factory or Arrow. I believe it's actually Anchor Bay. But I put it up here anyway because it looks cool on the shelf, and it is a dedication to Michael Myers and to the Halloween franchise. So that is what's up top. And here is my Scream Factory collection. We'll start off with this one first. Let's go through these titles really quick. I'm going to try not to take up too much of your time. I know I've done videos like this in the past that were 20 and 30 minutes, and I don't want to be boring for you guys. First here we have New Year's Evil. Obviously not a collector's edition like most are, but this is a very cool film. It's still sealed, but I have seen it prior to buying the release. Really cool film, very cool topic, and just a really original slasher overall. I like the concept. So, New Year's Evil. I'm going to sit that down here for a second. So we have Phantom of the Opera, starring Robert Englund. Really good one as well. Talked about it a bit on Late Night Frights. Really enjoyed it. Directed by Dwight H. Little. Obviously, you've got Robert Englund. You're going to get a Freddy Krueger vibe, and that is without doubt with this one as well. But a very interesting film. Yeah, Phantom of the Opera. Let's set this here. So this is the alternative slip for Candyman. Have it right there. Also have the Candyman Collector's Edition, which I showed off pretty recently. In one of the past videos, maybe the past 3 videos, I showed this off, the edition that I picked up. So, yeah, got the posters for that one as well. Also have Urban Legend. Got that from my good buddy Chris Brock. He had the extra copy. I showed this off in an update recently as well. Let's go ahead and sit these down here. Next I have the Halloween 2 Steelbook. Love this steelbook. Love the artwork. I think it's fantastic. I love that scene and the layout. I'm not going to open it up, but I did an individual unboxing for this one, and I have Halloween 3 coming in the mail, so I'll be doing an update when that arrives. Okay, I'm going to sit all these here for a moment. Okay, let's get to the shelf itself. Firstly, here we have the Vincent Price collection. This is the first volume. Really nice collection, really sought after now. I know it's out of print. It goes for quite a bit of money. But, you know, The Pit and the Pendulum, The Haunted Palace, The Abominable Dr. Phibes, Witchfinder General, The Fall of the House of Usher. So a lot of classic Vincent Price films here. Really love this collection. Okay, this one's still sealed. This is collection 2, or volume 2, if you will. It's got 7 films. I believe it actually upped the film count by 1 or 2. I'm going to have to look. 1, I believe. It upped the film count by 1, but still some great films on here as well. Last Man on Earth, Dr. Phibes Rise Again, The Return of the Fly, House on Haunted Hill. So a lot of great stuff. Vincent Price Collection 2. There's actually a Collection 3 out as well. I haven't had that one, or haven't had the opportunity to pick it up yet. Next we have the Amityville Horror Trilogy. Still sealed. Love the original. Sequels are alright. Next we have the 3-disc limited edition set for Nightbreed with the director's cut. Absolutely adore this release. I picked it up when it came out. Me and Chris Brock had a bet to see who could, or not a bet, but we bet each other. We said, you know, if you get it, I'll get it, and we got it. And it was a high price point, but it was very, very much worth it. Have an in-depth look on that one on my channel somewhere. Love the film too. It's a great film. So we have the classic Creepshow. Nothing much to say about Creepshow that hasn't already been said. You know, absolute classic horror anthology, the best in my opinion. Scream Factory gave it the treatment. It looks great. Great PQ and sound, and great special features. And it came with some posters as well. Okay, so next here down the line we start the collector's edition sets. One of the most anticipated ones for me upon its release back in the day was Body Bags. My personal favorite horror anthology aside from Creepshow. I mean, you've got, you know, 3 great stories. John Carpenter is the coroner. So much genuine scares, but also so much cheese. It's fun. It's a fun movie. I love Body Bags. Next we have the Halloween 2 Collector's Edition. This is the first one that I picked up from Scream Factory. This and 3, I believe, I ordered at the same time. Absolutely love this film. I've talked about it. I've given it praise. I've given the entire Halloween franchise praise over the years. And this is the superior Halloween 2 release. You know, the Steelbook's obviously the same release, same Blu-ray disc, just different packaging. Next we have the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, film that's grown on me over the years. Absolutely love this film. As a standout film, it is a great horror film, and it is very fun, and it has a wild and wacky but very intriguing concept. Moving on, we have the classic John Carpenter's The Thing. Arguably his best film ever made next to Halloween. I've talked about this numerous times. I did a unboxing of the Arrow video set recently as well. Love this film. Kurt Russell, just great suspense. Next we have They Live, another alien-oriented John Carpenter film that stars Keith David as well, because he was in The Thing. And Rowdy Roddy Piper with the world's longest fight scene in history over glasses.
I'm giving you a choice. Either put on these glasses or start eating that trash can.
Which is great. I love this. I love the effects. I love the city. I love the bleakness when the glasses are put on. And the aliens in this look creepy as fuck. Love it. It's great. Great 80s Carpenter flick. This is kind of my Carpenter line because it goes from The Thing, They Live, into another classic here. Got the Unstoppable, Tom Atkins in The Fog. Just a great film. Very eerie. Love the film. Jamie Lee Curtis as well. Just a great cast. Great cast. Yep, and a great addition. Another John Carpenter film here that is, it's interesting because I hadn't watched this one up until recently. And I really like it. I think it's got a good score. I think it's got a good atmosphere. And that is Prince of Darkness. And of course, you have Donald Pleasance. You can't go wrong with that. Alice Cooper. I love the visuals, the effects. There's a bug scene that is really fucking, I don't like bugs, so it's great. Love Prince of Darkness. Moving on to an interesting slasher, a slasher of many faces, I guess you could say, and that's Terror Train. A lot of people don't like Terror Train. I love it. I love the theatricality of the film. Jamie Lee Curtis is a great scream queen, no matter what anyone says. There's a lot of people that think she's overrated. She invented the term scream queen. Her unique scream, echoes through all of our minds when we think of films like Halloween, Prom Night, and Terror Train. Great release. Fucking David Copperfield in there. It's great. Love it. Next we have one of the best werewolf films of all time, if not the best, next to American Werewolf in London. That's The Howling. Great stuff. Going to do a individual review of this one soon. I've talked about it on Late Night Frights, but I mean, you got the gorgeous Dee Wallace. So it's a great film. Really good concept of the colony and this, I guess you would say, a psychiatrist type character who is teaching all the werewolves to live in society and live with their secret. Really good film. Next we have a Tobe Hooper classic. That's The Funhouse. I love the carnival atmosphere. You can definitely see the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, littered throughout this film. Obviously, this was made after. It was another stab at the horror genre, and a lot of people don't like it. I think it's very underrated, but I absolutely love it. It's very straightforward, very cut and dry, but it's got some good kills. It does have a slow burn, but it does pick up. And the carnival atmosphere, going to carnivals as a kid, this is kind of what it was like. And the crowd of people and the popcorn, it's like you can almost smell the popcorn popping. It's just a great film, The Funhouse. And the creature effects, too. I want to talk about that before I move on. I said I wasn't going to take too long, but you guys know me. I love the creature effects. I love that he is masked and covered up by Frankenstein. I thought that was great. Next, we have a classic slasher here. Everyone knows what it is. Let's go to camp, guys. Sleepaway Camp. Love this film. It took a while to grow on me upon first viewing, but I love it, and I love this release. Jonathan Tiersten is great as Ricky. You've also got Felissa Rose, Angela Baker, who is very dramatic and very suspenseful in her eyes. If looks could kill, she would have killed everyone at the camp. And it's one of the first slasher films where children were actually in danger and children actually did get slaughtered. Teens, multiple teens. It's so fun. The kills are great. All I can say is where I come from, we call them baldies. Let's move on here to Sleepaway Camp 2, guys. I'm going to breeze over these. Sleepaway Camp 2 is enjoyable. Yeah. Sleepaway Camp 3 is, well, it is definitely a teenage wasteland. I don't know what else to say about it. Just want to breeze past that little trilogy there. Yeah, let's move on. One of my favorite slashers of all time, we have The Burning, highly compared to Friday the 13th. Films like My Bloody Valentine. It's got the Cropsey legend. Everyone knows The Burning who watches my channel. If you haven't, you definitely need to check it out. Great cast with a lot of people. Brian Matthews, Lee Ayers, Brian Backer, Larry Joshua. It's got Jason Alexander as well, which is his character's fucking hilarious in this movie. Great effects, great story, and a little bit of, I wouldn't say sympathy for the killer because he was obviously a bad man before he was, torched almost to death. But in the raft scene is one of the highest body count scenes, like especially on-screen kills. That's great. Love that with the shears, and it's all really cool slasher and great practical effects. Moving on to another one of my favorites here, Motel Hell. Great dual 80s slasher here. First time I saw this was with a double pack with this and Deranged, and I absolutely love both films to death. Takes all kind of critters to make Farmer Vincent fritters. Got a great story. Yeah, great cast, great kills. Very ominous scene with a couple, kind of like a swinger couple in the hotel that kind of get attacked by Vincent and Ida. And I love the kind of the mindless zombified creatures, not creatures, but humans that they kind of grow in their garden. Cut out their vocal cords and they can't speak and can't talk, and they put them through this hallucinogenic fucking test that makes it just kills them. They break their neck. It's just insane. It's a great fucking film. If you haven't seen it, gotta check it out. Silent Night, Deadly Night, guys. Love this one. Absolutely adore this film. I watched it. It's an annual thing for me. I watched it this last Christmas. Didn't get to catch Black Christmas this year, which I usually do. This is such a fun slasher. I compare it to Black Christmas because I don't really know which one I like more. Even though Black Christmas is such a a more well-made film, this one's so fun. Great kills, great story. I love Billy. I love that portrayal by Robert Brian Wilson. Linnea Quigley in there showing some cleavage. Really nice. Great film, great kills. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Next we have Prison, Viggo Mortensen in Prison. This is actually an interesting one because I hadn't seen this up until recently. It's directed by Renny Harlin. It's got a great cast and a great story. It's basically a haunted prison in the simplest of terms, but there's so much more to it. It's very, very enjoyable. Next here we have two great sequels. One's a really great film and one's just okay. First one is Psycho 2. Bringing back Anthony Perkins to the role. Love the story in this one, maybe even more so than the original Psycho. I think it's a great sequel and a great plot. And yeah, it's kind of like poking at a recovering man or a man who is trying to recover and kind of pushing him over the edge. But it's got a great story. Psycho 3 is an interesting one. When I was a kid, this is the sequel that I saw the most, probably even more so than the original. It's not a great film by any means, but it's still fun to me. Nostalgia factor, I guess. Going into another great sequel, guys. There's a lot of great sequels that Scream Factory have released, and this one is Phantasm 2. I love the first one better, but this one is just balls to the wall, action, sci-fi, horror elemented. Like, there's tons of gore, tons of action. You got Reggie in the double barrel. I like the casting change for Mike. It's just a good sequel. It's even a standalone film. It could probably stand on its own 2 feet without Phantasm. And Pumpkinhead. Next one, I like Pumpkinhead, but I don't love the film. I know a lot of people do. I think it's directed beautifully. I like the death of the son and the desperation. It's just, I don't know. I don't love it. Okay, so next here we have a fun 80s flick, Night of the Comet. More comedic than horrifying, really, and I guess you could kind of say they're zombies. This post-apocalyptic world that they live in. It's got Catherine Mary Stewart in it. It's good. It's not bad. It's not one of my favorites, but it's pretty good. Next, we have the top of the food chain here for classic horror, just 80s cheese. Night of the Demons, guys. All I can say about this one is eat a bowl of fuck. Angela is definitely throwing her party, and it is one hell of a ride. Next, we have The Return of the Living Dead. Hands down, one of my favorite zombie films of all time. I think it handles zombies very differently, but very well. And very fucking horrifying with the tar man. The way he moves still creeps me out. And the fact that these zombies are practically indestructible. There's nothing you can do. We find that out with the great cadaver scene where they have to dispose of the body. I love the mortuary setting that we get for a while. Tom Matthews, Tommy Jarvis, Tom Matthews is great in any film that he's in. He pulls it off. I love it. I think it blends comedy and horror pretty well. Next, arguably the best zombie film of all time, especially the best I would say close to the best out of the Dead trilogy. I think I prefer Dawn a little bit more. George A. Romero's Day of the Dead. Amazing practical effects by the great Tom Savini. I love I guess you would say, isolation that this film carries, and the sincere desperation of being literally, we're assuming anyway, the last humans left, alive, trying to sort this thing out, and the crazed, very tense and I guess you would say angered military/militia led by Joe Pilato. I love the ending scene. Darkman, not necessarily horror, but it has some horrifying events, I guess you would say. Deadly Blessing, Wes Craven film. Got Michael Berryman there on the front. Let's see. Dolls. An interesting werewolf film that I've always enjoyed since I was a kid, and that's Ginger Snaps. a film I have not seen, starring Malcolm McDowell. I'm sorry, and that is Cat People. Got a Clive Barker one here, Lord of Illusions. Very interesting one. It's all right. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. But yeah, it's pretty good. The Eternal Mad Max, first Mad Max. I mean, you could argue the sequel was better, but I really loved the first Mad Max. Really kick-starting Mel Gibson's acting career. So yeah, great film. Great film. Okay, we have a Carpenter flick here, Assault on Precinct 13. Also, it's not horror. As you can see, the last few ones here are really not horror related. But I really like this film. The action in it is top notch. And as an earlier film of Carpenter's, it's very, very good. Another Carpenter film here, guys. Escape from New York. Yeah, just great release as well. Last year for, I guess you would say, the collector's editions. We have the Babadook, whatever you want to call this fucking thing. When it was released, everyone talked about it like it was this modern masterpiece, something that would hold up, and it really didn't. It doesn't get talked about much anymore at all. Still interesting. Yeah, still interesting. Not a bad film by today's standards, because there's so many shitty fucking horror movies that come out every day and every year, and it's depressing. So we have a double pack here, Bad Dreams and Visiting Hours. Bad Dreams has quite possibly one of the creepiest men I've ever seen in my life in it, and it's enjoyable. Yeah, it's got Jennifer Rubin in there. It's a good movie. And Visiting Hours I can't really speak on. I don't think I've seen it. So this one is a mind fuck, and that's Crawl Space. I love Crawl Space. Always have. Ever since the first time I saw it. That guy is the fucking stuff that nightmares are made of, I'm telling you. Klaus Kinski. Yeah. Very interesting. I love the trap setups in here with everyone throughout the complex. And that dude is the most sadistic thing. Probably one of the most sadistic people I've seen in a film. This one flies under the radar, and it's really good. And it's Death Valley. Death Valley starring Peter Billingsley. Really good. It's directed by Dick Richards. It's also got Catherine Hicks from Child's Play. It's just a great film. A great, I guess you would say, cat and mouse slasher. And Peter Billingsley does a great job also starring in A Christmas Story as well. So here we have Evil Speak with Clint Howard. This one's weird, man. The ending scene's so strange. So we have a slasher that I really enjoy, and it's Final Exam. This one was under the radar for a long time. Very sought after. Out of print DVD, I believe. Yeah, not too many special features. It's not a collector's edition, but it's not a really out of the ordinary slasher. It doesn't do anything spectacular for the subgenre. It's just good to me. Next we have The Town That Dreaded Sundown. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Also featuring the Victors in there as well. Here we have a 2-pack of Love at First Bite, which I have not seen, and the one that I bought this for, Once Bitten. I absolutely love that movie, and know many people don't, but it's got a great cast. Jim Carrey, Lauren Hutton, Karen Hopkins. Love it. Quite possibly one of Nicolas Cage's most over-the-top role, even more so than the Wicker Man film. Vampire's Kiss. Seeing this on the TV when I was a kid, it literally boggled my mind what this movie was trying to accomplish, but it's so over the top. Look at that. Okay, so the Arrow Video section is a little bit smaller. I don't have as many titles as I do Scream Factory, but it's growing, and I love Arrow as a company as much, if not more, than Scream Factory. So I guess, guys, without further ado, let's dive in. Yeah. So right here we have the definitive edition, if I can pull it out, of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. One of my favorite things that I own in my collection. This is an absolute spot-on release for this film. If you're a huge fan of this film like I am, this is the way to own it. This edition, most of these box sets are out of print, and this one is no exception. I think it is as well. But, oh my god, guys, it's just a beautiful addition to an amazing film. speaking of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, soon is what I meant to say. Soon I will be doing a franchise ranking. I know I did one years ago, but I'm going to redo some franchise rankings because my opinions have changed over the years. So next we have a Wes Craven film debut here, The Last House on the Left, collector set. Great edition, still sealed as you can see though, but it's a fucking amazing, loaded with contents. The movie, however, lacks a little bit. I do enjoy it, but you know, it is what it is, but still sealed. Next we have The Hills Have Eyes, a better film than Last House on the Left, but I think The Last House had a better release. This is a really good edition as well. Love that cover art there. I plan to do maybe a couple videos on in-depth looks on some of these sets, because when it comes to collector sets, Arrow does it better than Scream Factory. They just do. Even the sets like Nightbreed or Creepshow, Arrow puts more time and effort and care into their packaging when it comes to these collector sets. Another edition here of The Thing. You guys know how much I love this movie, and I unboxed it recently. Beautiful, beautiful release. We have a sealed copy here of Reanimator. Love the film. Plan to get Bride of Reanimator soon. Sealed. I might keep that one sealed. I don't know if I open it. I'll do an in-depth look for sure. Next year we have Creepshow 2, the much sought after release that's highly out of print. Actually, every Arrow release of this film is starting to really get high in value. This one has the alternate red instead of the purple, I guess, purplish hue that the original one had. So yeah, but Creepshow 2, finding that Arrow release is difficult now. Even without the collector's box, they're still hard to find for some reason. I can go for ridiculous prices on eBay. Next we have the window box sets here that were some of the first Arrow sets that I ever picked up. This one I bought off Chris since Dawn of the Dead. Wow, I love this release and I love this film. I miss these old school. I'm going to leave this one sitting out. Let's see. I miss these old school window box sets. They don't do them anymore, and I understand why, but I miss them. I have Argento section here. Got Phenomena. Really good film there. Inferno. I don't know which one I like better out of the two. I mean, Argento is such a diverse filmmaker. It's really difficult. I don't have Suspiria. I wish I had that film. I don't know why I don't own it, but I'd like to get it. The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Fun slasher here. Maniac Cop. William Lustig's Maniac Cop. Bruce Campbell in there. It's just a fun film. Frankenhooker. I don't even know what else to say about this. Just Frankenhooker. It's fun. Killer Clowns from Outer Space with the FYE exclusive slip. Gotta love Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Now we have some of these editions that are just single standard releases, but their standard releases are awesome as well. First one here is Larry Cohen film, The Stuff. So fucking fun. It's put together so odd, but it's so fun. Love that film. Deranged. I talked about this one a little bit ago when I talked about Motel Hell. This is the true, Psycho really kind of took bits and pieces from Ed Gein and, Texas Chainsaw Massacre a little bit more, but this one was full-blown Ed Gein. I love the movie. It's got, can't think of the guy's name. He was in one of the Home Alone films. Robert's Blossom. Yeah, very creepy. Very sympathetic, though, at the same time. It's weird how they managed to do that. Motel Hell, guys. I know I didn't need 2 copies of it, but I love the film so much, so got this edition. Love it. Gotta love Motel Hell. Okay, and the last 2 here are 2 steel books. I'm going to try to do this so it doesn't fall. Sorry, guys. Firstly, here we have the Demons and Demons 2 steelbook. I think one of the first Arrows I purchased. I know this one, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 limited edition. I got those. I got a big bundle of Arrow stuff one day, and it was a lot of money, but very much worth it. It kickstarted my Arrow collection a long time ago. Demons and Demons 2. Lastly, here, a very surprising one when I first watched it. Phantom of the Paradise. Love this one, man. Love this. And I'm not a big musical type guy, and this is kind of in the same vein as Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I battled both of these on Late Night Frights years ago. But it's so fucking fun, guys. It's so awesome. It's not just like that horror musical. It's got a lot to it. it's got a definite enjoyment for me. That's it. Other than this, it's not anything to do with Scream Factory or Arrow, but I thought it looked cool. My Freddy glove over the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Black Maria edition. Yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Everything that I've showed you so far, that's my Scream Factory / Arrow video collection for, as of now, January 13th, 2019. I got a lot of videos coming, guys, so stay tuned. A lot of individual reviews, series, rankings, updates. Thank you guys for watching. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Go check out Jake, as I said before, HorrorFan88. And as always, guys, keep it horror. Peace.